District 84. This is Leslie Laforte, one of the team members of the District 84 podcast team. And today I am here with Fazeel Gareeboo, distinguished Toastmaster. And he is a software development director at EA Sports Tiburon and has been a member of the EA Tiburon Toastmasters since 2008. He grew up on the island of Mauritius and worked in Europe before settling in the United States. Welcome, Fazeel. Thank you for meeting me today.
Thank you, Leslie. You're welcome.
Oh, I would love to know a little bit more about you. Growing up in not in the U.S. and working in Europe, how was that for you? What made you come to the U.S.?
Growing up in Mauritius is very different from living in the US because it's a very small island and your focus is not on the island, it's on what's happening outside, because you feel like you need to go somewhere bigger and better. And you don't really appreciate that you have these great beaches, you have wonderful food, you have wonderful people that you can enjoy. You have to actually move out of there. So for me, it was moving to a place called Manchester, where I went to college. And I don't know if you know Manchester, but the weather is just awful there.
I've heard.
It's gray, it rains, it's cold. So after 3 years of this, and I came back to Mauritius for holidays, that's really when I realized what island life was so wonderful. I had people in the UK see me and go, "What are you doing here if you're from Mauritius?" Because they had heard of Mauritius as a honeymoon destination.
Sure, yeah.
Holiday destination. But if you grow up there, you don't appreciate it. You just think it is what it is, right?
Right.
Yeah, and the reason really why I was thinking of, I thought of coming to the US was when I was growing up, I was really into books. And I came across a chemistry book that I really liked.
Okay.
And when I looked at it, it said printed or published in the US. And in my mind, I had this thought, I have to go to the US one day because this is such a great book. I want to go there. So I was actually born in the UK. So that's why I went back to college in the UK and worked there for a while. But I still had that thought of going to the US one day. And I worked for a company where I had an opportunity to come over. Because they were doing business, they were selling graphics cards. And so a couple of times I came over to the US when we were doing shows.
Okay.
A later company I worked for was actually an American company. So it's through them that I moved to the States.
Oh, that's excellent. Now, how long, you said you've been a Toastmaster since 2008. How did that come about?
Well, I knew the company had a Toastmasters club, and I was always interested in getting better at public speaking.
Okay.
But I don't know if you're familiar with that thing where you want something, but you're not really willing to do what you need to do to get that thing.
100%, yes.
So it took me a while. I mean, I joined the company in 2005. It took me 3 years, 3 years to actually join the club. And when I joined the club, I remember they said something about table topics, and I went, what do you mean I need to speak like right off the bat? So the way I did this was avoiding eye contact with the with the table topics master.
Okay.
It did work. I got given a table topic which was, what's your favorite beer game or something to do with drinking.
Okay.
Beer pong, or how do you like beer pong? And I don't drink. And I went, oh, this could not have been.
Oh no.
So, but I think it's like everything when you're afraid of something, the best way to deal with it is to just jump in and get some practice.
Perfect. Well, part of the reason why you're here is because you are one of the first people. You are the first person to sign up for the virtual version of our District 84 conference this year. What made you decide to take this option?
Well, the first reason is our company is still very cautious about meeting in person.
Okay.
So, for example, business travel is still heavily restricted.
Okay.
meeting outside of work in kind of conferences and those kinds of things is still very heavily restricted. You have to get approval from someone higher up. And so I thought, okay, well, this is going to be tricky. I could either pay for it on my own or get the company to pay for it. And then I discovered there is a virtual option. That makes it easier. So that was the first reason.
Okay.
The second reason is even though there is something different with having a face-to-face meeting, you get more, you get greater kind of feedback, you meet the person. But I think having virtual meetings also has some advantages.
Okay.
I don't have to prepare that much. I don't have to drive to the location. I don't have to find the parking. And it's cheaper as well, because I think the virtual option is cheaper than the in-person option. Plus, you
Slightly.
don't have to deal with like all the parking stuff that happens usually.
Sure.
So I think there's at least those two were the main reasons. The third reason is I volunteered to be a facilitator for the Zoom sessions. So I'm thinking, well, I might as well join as a Zoom person.
Well, there you go. There you go. Now, is this your first conference, district conference?
No, and I can't remember how many conferences I've been, so it probably is the fifth or the sixth.
Okay. Okay.
Most of them I have been, well, all of them have been in person so far.
Okay.
They are great. If anyone listening to this has never been to a conference, you need to at least go to at least one conference. You have these great sessions, educational sessions, and then you have the contest, and that's always great. And then you get to meet people, some people that you met before and new people.
Awesome. Now, you said you've been to several different conferences. What is your first conference? Do you remember anything special about that first conference?
Yeah, I didn't know what to expect. And I guess I am more of an introvert. And so when they were talking about getting dressed up and all that kind of thing, I was thinking, no more. That's like way out of my comfort zone.
Okay.
But of course, I mean, you don't have to dress up. So I don't remember exactly what I did for that, like dressing up thing.
Sure.
I think I might have bailed out of it, but I was there, and it was I think it was the Daytona Beach one, the Hilton.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I think that was my first one.
Okay.
But I really enjoyed it. The educational sessions were great. A lot of them were conducted by current past Toastmasters.
Okay.
And so you could see, in a sense, how far you could go by staying in this club and how much better you can be by just watching them. And a lot of them would share stories about how they started. And cool. I could relate to how they started because that's how I started. And so it's very inspirational. And a lot of them also give you really useful information, both for your Toastmasters journey and also for your professional life. So I thought they were great. And then, of course, there was the contest. They were very entertaining. I think it was a humorous speech contest that I had for a particular one. And so, yeah, very funny.
Have you participated in contest?
I haven't really got very far, but I'm still trying.
Good. Glad to hear it. I'm glad to hear it. Now, it seems like the virtual option doesn't seem to be very well known at this point in time. But with the technology that we have, do you see any potential advantages that could come out of doing the conference virtually?
Yeah, I think you can address potentially more people because some people cannot physically attend the conference for whatever reason. And being able to use your phone or use your desktop or your laptop or your iPad to actually join in the conference makes it so much easier. And again, you don't have to book a hotel. You don't have to be committed for the whole, however long it is the conference. You can drop in and drop out, and so it makes it so much more convenient. Obviously, there are some people who want to be and can be there in person, and I'm sure we do want people to go there in person, but having that that Zoom option allows people to be able to be at the conference and not have to put in all that kind of time or money investment.
Mm-hmm.
And so here's an idea. If you've never been to the conference
Mm-hmm.
and you're still scared about it, go get the Zoom option. I mean, it's a no-brainer. You can just sample it.
Yep.
And if you feel like it's not for you, you can just disconnect. How easy is that?
That's true, but you've already paid for it at that point, so you might as well stick around and enjoy
Exactly.
enjoy the festivities, because we're
Yes.
definitely going to have a lot going on this year. With we're doing something a little different because of we're doing a talent show on Friday night, so we're actually highlighting
All right.
some
Yes.
of
Yes.
our own
I saw
from
that.
our own talent. Do you have any special talents that you could bring to a talent show?
That's a good question. I play music and I do karaoke, but I don't know how good I am. So I'll just have fun doing it.
That's awesome. Now, going back to aspects of the conference, what is your favorite part of conference in general?
I think for me the educational sessions,
Okay.
because there is so much variety. I think usually there is, I don't know, 3 or 4 different tracks going on at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So you can just open up the program to look at where the sessions are, and then pick and choose, which one you like the most. And usually you don't stay in one room, you're just running from one room to the other
Yes.
because they are in different rooms,
Uh-huh.
but at least you get the option to choose what you feel is the most appropriate and what you're most interested in,
Mm-hmm.
and what you can benefit the most from. And so far, to all the conferences I have been, at least for me, that was the best part because it was a way for me to learn something new.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the times, the way they run the sessions
Mm-hmm.
is they will teach you something and then they will give you the opportunity to practice it there and then.
Which
And
is
I feel like
fantastic.
that's the best way to learn
Mm-hmm.
because you learn by doing, you don't learn by really reading. You have to
Right.
practice it. And then I've always found the contest to be really entertaining. Toastmasters does things in an entertaining fashion. So it's not just the speeches, it's the whole run up to the contest and all kinds of things that they do with people with their flags coming in representing each of the districts,
Mm-hmm.
etc. So I think I like that part of conference
Okay.
where you get to celebrate what you do. And then, of course, the speeches. I especially love the humorous speeches because, I mean, these are the champions of the area. So you get some really good speeches.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, the banner parade, the distinguished Toastmaster walk.
Yeah.
Those are definitely the things that we use to celebrate our fellow Toastmasters. I mean, and essentially that's what conference is all about, don't you think?
Mm.
Being
Yeah.
able to celebrate and educate ourselves, and the
Yeah.
networking piece
Yeah.
is fantastic. Now, what do you let's see? Do you think that there is an audience for this kind of hybrid conference?
Yeah. I think it's as I said earlier, maybe for people who've never
Mm-hmm.
taken the plunge and gone to conference,
Uh-huh.
this could be an easier option for them.
Okay.
It is cheaper. It is not as you're not as committed, so
Right.
you can pick and choose which sessions you want to attend. People who, for whatever reason, cannot kind of physically make the journey, um, Zoom is a brilliant way to actually get the most out of a conference without having to actually physically be there. I would say those are the two main things. And I don't know if we advertise conference outside of our area. If we do, that's an even bigger reason for people to do Zoom because then they don't have to get on a plane, they don't have to drive for long hours. So
I never even thought about that. We with the way our meetings have been lately, with 90% of them being in Zoom and only a few clubs these days being able to go back to a hybrid setting. We've joined or we've received and have taken in a lot of members who are not in the physical area.
right,
I never even thought about that.
yeah,
That's
I mean,
fantastic.
yeah, in our Toastmasters at work,
Uh-huh.
we have had people from Austin, Texas,
Okay.
from the company join
Right.
us. We
Oh,
even
cool.
had a lady from Germany join us.
Wow.
Who also works for EA, but I guess it's kind of nighttime for them while we're having it during lunchtime here.
Oh, okay.
But they didn't have a Toastmasters at the location there, so
Okay.
she heard about the Zoom, so she joined in, and I can see a lot of people doing it that way because if it's convenient for them and they don't have the opportunity to do it locally, then why not?
Oh, that's a fantastic. And from what I understand, our conference seems to be some of the best around. So, you know,
Right.
we definitely want to encourage people who are not in the physical area and who can't get to us physically to
Yes.
definitely come and join us on the Zoom option. Now,
Yeah.
uh, do you think that you'll be participating physically in the future, or do you think that this might be an option that you'll be using from here on out?
There are advantages and disadvantages to both options, and uh, I definitely believe I will come back physically in the future.
Perfect.
Um, but if we keep the Zoom option, I think that's going to be an interesting option to at least as an option to pick.
Mhm.
Again,
Absolutely.
it depends on circumstances. I mean, if
True.
I'm free, if I can do it, I'll go in. If I'm not,
Mhm.
and there are uncertainties about what's happening here in my personal life, maybe I'll pick the Zoom
True.
because then that gives me more flexibility.
Absolutely. Now, with all of your international colleagues in your home club, are you going to convince them to try and come to conference?
I hadn't thought about it, but now you've given me the idea, so I can send them the link. And
Absolutely, please do. And
now,
this goes for all of our listeners and our followers here. If you have members of your clubs that aren't able to physically make it, whether it be safety, whether it be distance, whether it be physicality, please give them the Zoom option because it is definitely another way for the district to come together. Fazeel, thank you so much for joining me. Do you have any other final thoughts that you wanna partake to our listeners?
yeah, go to conference.
Absolutely, whether it be physical or on the hybrid on the Zoom. Again, our district conference, our time and time again district conference is going to be at the Embassy Suites in Kissimmee, Florida on May 13th and 14th. Festivities and registration will start at 1 p.m. on May 14th. And then Zoom, we will have the Zoom link up on the District 84 website. Also, the registration form, the Zoom registration and the physical registrations are on our D84 website. I really do appreciate you taking the time with me, Fazeel. I look forward to working with you because, as you know, I am the stage manager for the conference, and I'm going
Yeah.
to be the I'm going to help out with the Zoom as well. So I definitely look forward to working with you, and definitely look forward to seeing you soon.
Thank you, Leslie, and thanks for doing this.
Absolutely. This is Leslie the 40 signing off.